If you're watching this because you're thinking about going to nursing school, I want to have a very honest conversation with you. Not the version where someone tells you you should absolutely become a nurse because it's such a rewarding career, and also not the version where someone tells you that nursing is terrible and you should not do it. Because honestly, both sides of that coin can be true. Nursing has given me experiences that I will never forget. It's challenged me, grown me, humbled me, and it's allowed me to be there for people on some of the worst or most important moments of their lives. It's also exhausted me. There have been shifts where I drove home in complete silence and thought, why did I choose this? So if you're wondering if nursing school is for you, I want to give you the conversation I wish I had before I ever even started. We're talking the good, the bad, the things that no one tells you, and some of the personal experiences that made me realize what nursing actually is. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about whether nursing school might actually be right for you. So let's talk about why I chose nursing. I think sometimes people just assume that nurses woke up one day and they thought, you know what sounds fun? I think I'll be a nurse. Long shifts, bodily fluids, and the responsibility of multiple people at the exact same time. And obviously that's not exactly how it works. So for me, it was a pivotal moment in my life where I realized I didn't want to keep doing what I had been doing. I knew that I liked working with my hands. I liked serving people. And at the time I was studying chemistry, but I realized working in a lab just wasn't for me. So I took all the things that I liked, and with the help of a mentor, we were able to discover that nursing was the path that was best fit for me. But even at that time where there was this discovery, I did not fully understand what nursing was. And even when I started, I didn't fully conceptualize what nursing was. And so that's something that I want you to think about. Do you actually want to become a nurse, or do you just kind of like the idea or the sound of being a nurse? Because the two things are really quite different. Maybe you've seen a nurse online in some really cute scrubs holding her Stanley and a coffee in the other hand. But reality only sets in when you walk in and you realize you're responsible for 4, 6, 8, 12 different patients at the exact same time. Maybe 3 of them are calling you at the same time. One of them's trying to fall out of the bed. One of them's trying to leave AMA. The other one's asking for a box lunch and a water. And all the while, you're getting farther and farther behind on your charting, something that has to be completed before you leave for the day. It sounds a little funny, but that is the reality of it, and something that you might really want to consider before you start going to nursing school. So let's talk about the pros and the cons, starting with the pros. Job security and opportunity. One of the biggest pros of nursing is the amount of opportunity you have. You could work from home, in a clinic, in the hospital setting, and the list goes on. That's one of the things that I love about nursing. You don't necessarily have to do the same thing for your entire career. I've worked as a trauma nurse, and I've learned that nursing can take you places that you didn't necessarily expect. And that's really reassuring, because maybe you graduate and you realize that you absolutely hate one specialty. That doesn't automatically mean that you hate nursing altogether. It just means that maybe you hate that particular area of nursing. And sometimes it takes working somewhere for a while to figure that out. So moving on to the next pro, you can actually make a difference. Another pro of working as a nurse is that you can make a difference in people's lives. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but it is true. There is a moment in nursing where you realize what you are doing actually does matter. Sometimes it's huge, and other times it's incredibly small. Maybe you're taking care of someone who is absolutely terrified, and you get to be the person that sits down and explains exactly what's happening. Maybe you notice that something is wrong before anyone else in the room does. Maybe you're taking care of someone's family while they're going through the worst day of their life. And working in trauma has especially taught me that life can change in a matter of seconds. You can be having a completely normal day and suddenly somebody's fighting for their life and you're there, but you realize you can't fix everything. You don't always have a happy ending, and that's actually one of the hardest parts of nursing. But being able to be there for someone during that moment is something that I don't take lightly, and that's the hard part. Nursing can be emotionally heavy. This is the part that no one really puts on Instagram, that nursing can be emotionally brutal. I've seen unexpected deaths. I watched family receive news that completely changed their lives. And there are moments where you have to go into a room, take care of a patient, remain professional, and then walk out knowing that person's life may never be the same. And it's hard because sometimes you carry that home with you. And I think that's something that maybe we don't talk about enough when we're preparing someone to go to nursing or the nursing profession. You're not just taking care of someone's physical body. You're dealing with fear, pain, grief, families, trauma, death, and even sometimes anger. And you have to learn how to care about people without allowing every situation to completely destroy you emotionally. That's a skill. You develop it, but I don't want to pretend like it doesn't affect you, because it does. So let's move on to our next pro. You will grow as a person. Here's something nursing gave me that I didn't expect. It changed me as a person. Being around trauma and death has changed my perspective. I started realizing how quickly everything can change. You can start appreciating your family differently, your health differently, in just ordinary days or vacation days. And nursing has also taught me how to stay calm when things are chaotic, because when everything around you is going crazy, somebody still has to think clearly. And sometimes that has to be you. You learn how to communicate, how to advocate, how to speak up, and how to make decisions. Sometimes very quick decisions. And honestly, those skills, they follow you outside of the hospital. I've heard some really great pros. Let's start our list of cons. I'm starting this one as the first because the schedule to me could go either way. Just depends on who you are as a person and what you prefer. But if you're hoping for a normal Monday through Friday 9 to 5, nursing might not be for you. A lot of hospital nurses have to work 12-hour shifts, which could sound amazing when someone says, wow, you only work 3 days a week. And technically, yes, but those 3 days can be long. You might work a 7A to 7P, 7P to 7A, and then there are those really weird mid shifts. We're talking 11 to 11 or 3 to 3. And when you get home after those shifts, you might not exactly feel like doing anything that a normal person does after work. You might not have the energy to go to the gym or be social or even really be there for your family emotionally. That could be hard for some. Another part of that schedule that could be hard is talking about working holidays and weekends. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, people are still getting sick. And while there are opportunities to work in a doctor's office or a clinic and have that traditional 9 to 5 on a Monday through Friday, just know it does come with a significant pay cut. So if you're willing to take the cut and you'd rather work Monday through Friday, there is an opportunity for you in nursing. The second con, nursing school is hard because nursing school is not the same as taking a few classes and getting a degree. You have to study and study a lot. Sometimes you're going to study for hours and walk into an exam thinking you know everything and you're fully prepared. And then you read the first question. A patient walks into a room carrying a pineapple. What do you do? Wait. A pineapple? I don't remember reading anything about a pineapple in my study material. Anyway, in all seriousness, nursing exams are designed to test you about how you think on the material that you should already know and learn how to apply it. You have to understand the material, prioritize, recognize what's dangerous, and determine what needs to happen first. And learning how to think that way can be frustrating. So nursing exams can be extremely frustrating. However, it does prepare you for nursing. As a nurse, you will want to know how to prioritize the most emergent thing over somebody's basic needs. And learning how to study that way can be hard. And it might not be until your last semester, last test that you finally fully grasp how to take a nursing exam. When I was in nursing school, there were moments that I felt like I didn't know if I was good enough to be a nurse, if I was smart enough to be in nursing school. And if you're in one of those places, don't automatically interpret the struggle as being incapable. Sometimes you're just learning something really, really difficult. So let's move on to our next con, the physical demands. Another people don't always consider is how physically demanding nursing can be. You're walking, standing, moving patients, turning patients, lifting, and you're running around. And you can finish a shift and realize that you've barely even sat down that day. And then the glamorous part of healthcare, bodily fluids. Lots of bodily fluids. Blood, vomit, urine, stool, sweat, and every nurse's favorite, sputum. Call the RT because we ain't doing none of that. Eventually, you do become less bothered by those things. The things that would have otherwise made you gag in the past, you realize suddenly you can eat your lunch right after and be completely fine. The big question, should you go to nursing school? So if you're asking yourself right now, should I go to nursing school? This would be my answer. Don't choose nursing because you think it's the easy way to make money. It's a really nice way to make money, but it's not easy. And don't choose it if somebody told you that it's a stable, recession-proof career. While it is, if you don't enjoy it and you can't tolerate everything we talked about, it's not for you. And definitely don't choose it just because you don't know what else you're going to do in life. Choose it if you genuinely care about people, if you're willing to work hard, to handle difficult situations, and to be uncomfortable. And if you're okay with the fact that some days are going to be incredibly rewarding, and some days you're going to sit in your car and question everything. But here's the other side. You don't have to be fearless to become a nurse, and you definitely don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the smartest person in your class. You just have to be willing to keep learning. If I could go back and talk to myself before nursing school, here's what I would say. Number one, don't compare yourself to everyone else. Someone else might understand the material faster than you, but that does not mean that they're going to be a better nurse than you. Number two, learn to ask questions. You don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. Just ask and learn. Number three, take care of yourself. Your patients need you, but life cannot become nursing entirely. Choose a hobby, volunteer, become a part of another community, but don't let it be everything. Be a well-rounded person so you can be there for your patients. And number four, remember why you started, because there will be days when you forget. If you're thinking about nursing school, I hope this gave you a more realistic picture. Nursing isn't perfect, it isn't easy, and it's definitely not for everyone. But for the right person, it can be an incredible career. I've experienced the hardest moments of my life as a nurse. I've also experienced moments that reminded me why I chose the profession in the first place. So if you're standing at the beginning of this journey right now, wondering if you're capable of doing it, you might be. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep showing up even on the hard days.